Comrades, I am Admiral Andre, and welcome back to Realpolitiks. You probably can't believe what you're seeing, but yes, after so long, Realpolitiks is back. And we are continuing with Turkey because I think, again, I'm very interested to see what happens with this campaign that we've had going for such a long time. So I see no reason to abandon it at all. Although, of course, again, as I've said previously, it is still necessary to play with the separatism test beta there. It's not the latest version of the game, so just keep that in mind. At any rate, I think, first of all, again, a quick tour is very much in order because it has been such a long time. Let's just minimize these so I can actually see the map here. I've just put it back onto the plain view again. I think it makes it a bit easier, at least while we get our bearings here. Now, there we are, Turkey. For the first moment when I opened up the map, I was a bit confused about what was happening here. But of course I remember Iran, our former ally, betrayed us and took southeastern Anatolia from us. So that's one of our main priorities before the game ends in 2100. We must restore southeastern Anatolia. This is clearly Turkish territory and it will be Turkish again. So that's one of our priorities. If we go to the relation map here, we can clearly see we have a core on this land because it belonged to us historically. So our justification is in order there. On the other side, in southeastern Europe, we have been taking some land here. Albania, Kosovo, parts of the Greek islands. Of course, a nice holiday destination. Cyprus as well. Latakia here in the Middle East, more towards the Middle East. Some parts here as well, like Varna. I see we have a claim on Bulgaria as well. So that's something we have to work on. I think maybe even today. We also have a claim, if we just go back to this view, on Greece. But Greece is currently in the bloc of the United States. And one of the big disasters of this campaign was the war with the US. Twice. So that's some lesson for the future that I have to remember not to repeat again. So there is still a war going on in the US, and we of course had a lot to do with that. The rebels here, if we have a look at this, the status is not that favorable for the rebels. It's at 43%, but I think it has been at that level for many years now. So it's quite a stalemate in the US, and these are rebels from the central states. So if we have a look here, this would be this part here. Now this would be, now I have to think, I have to get my bearings here. So this would be Illinois, and would that be part of Kansas as well? It's difficult. This of course doesn't follow the exact state borders here, but you get the idea. It's part of the Midwest here. So the Midwesterners are very upset with the policies of the US government, and they are rebelling. And they outnumber the US troops by quite a margin there. They have almost the same tanks and more aircraft as well. But their big drawback is their lack of up-to-date technology. You can see clearly the attack is +8, +10, +10. But for the US side, it's 11, 14 and 13. So that's the same trend for all of them. So technologically the rebels are weaker, but they're still holding their ground there. Of course, they don't actually control territory on the map until they win a war. But that at least means the US is out of the picture. But I don't think it's justifiable to go to war with them again, because we lost so much when the rest of the world also joined in. So I think Bulgaria, before it joins a bloc, we have to incorporate it. That's a must. Now, can we have a look? You have to keep in mind, again, I have not played this game in a very long time, so getting my bearings is going to take a little while. Now let's just see, if we look at us, this is our stats, so 32, 17, 21 and so on. So what's the stats for Bulgaria? Oh, 4, 2 and 1. But again, that can be deceptive. We have to look at the technology. That's a lesson, a hard lesson that I've learned. So the infantry is +7, +2 and +1. What's our infantry? 10, 5 and 4. Okay, we can clean the floor with them. No problems at all. Now we have to keep in mind on our warmonger score, because that's the problem that we had when all of the world basically started attacking us. Now, do we in the UN still have that limit? Yes, the anti-warmonger resolution is still there. And that, of course, justifies a war against countries with a level above 45. So we're 22 now. I think we'll let it come down a little bit more and then we'll attack Bulgaria, because again I want to be cautious there. We are a member of the Security Council of the UN, but we have had no success in revoking that resolution. I wonder if we can try again. Not at the moment, it seems. Oh well, maybe we tried recently. Diplomatically, there's a lot of things happening here. A lot of countries are targeted by the UN precisely because of their warmonger score, including Iran here for their violations against us. But of course the rest of the world will just ignore them. They love to attack us, but they oftentimes ignore other countries. Gain a core, we're working on this, I forgot about this, to get a core on, is that Lebanon? Yes, we're trying to get a core on Lebanon because, well, no, they are a block of Saudi Arabia, so that's maybe not the best thing, but at least if we have the core, we can keep it and wait for an opportune moment. We still have heavy war losses as well. That's another problem that we have to deal with. Let's just see, where can we see this again? Economy, maybe? Somewhere, you see, this is the drawback of not playing in a while. Okay, it's 259. That's extremely high, so we have to wait. We have to wait as long as possible. Then the army morale loss, we're working on that to weaken the US still, so the rebels could possibly get some more advantage there. And we have peace with Mashriq for now and with Bulgaria. So, okay, we can't attack them now anyway for another 2 years. So let's look at our projects. We're busy with the false target generators and with stealth, so it's very militaristic there. And we have lots and lots of money, but almost no action points. So that's something, again, we'll have to focus on and possibly stop some projects if they cost us too many action points. Let's just have a look at this. I think it's worthwhile. The post-war rebuild we have to keep for now. This is a temporary thing, but it certainly helps us to get our country back into shape again. Let's just have a look. Is there a way? I know there is a way to look at the action points, this amount that we're spending. Somewhere now, just to see, I think, is it just here? Now it just says minus 74 projects and events, so it doesn't actually say which ones. Interesting. I'm quite sure there is a way to sort and to actually identify that. Well, there's one. But what does it do? That's just the Human Development Index. No, this one. Okay, that one gives us action points. Let's just go through them. There's Economy Modernization number 4. That gave us action points. These are all green. Where are the costs? It doesn't show that, but here are the real... Are these the real costs? No. I think these ones cost a small amount to keep in action, but this kind of thing costs a lot of action points. Anyway, I won't hammer on that too much now. We'll just continue from here. So let's go, comrades. 2070, let's see where we go. So we were not quite successful so far rebuilding an Ottoman Empire. I think it is necessary to have much more of a focus from right at the beginning and to be very much strategic in trying to achieve your goals, because there again I learned the lesson now. Don't be too ambitious, because the battles with the US and the rest of the world really cost us. Complete disaster. The US caught our spies. Well, it was just a small attempt to help the rebels there. What are our missions? Let's just have a look. Freedom is the most important human attribute. Have less than 3 personal control. We actually have to have a look at this. Let's just pause again. Even if it's a slow episode, I think it's worthwhile. So our interventionism seems to be quite low. Our personal control is relatively low, but it is rising, so it's a bit more moderate now. Militarism is of course relatively high, but it used to be very high, but of course since our defeats in the many wars, it has come down again. And this is important because the higher your militarism is, the more army size you can have. And as you can see there, it also reduces the cost of the army. But I'm not going to take on the US right now or anyone like that, so we don't need that big an army to attack Bulgaria and, you know, other countries. Maybe for Iran eventually, yes. But I think it's doable to bring personal control down. I'm not sure. There might be some things we need to cancel again. Yes, other country has claims. Things like that. Let's see, what's the other ones? Increase the score income from stock to at least 32. Okay, let's have a look at our stock market. It's only 6 right now, so it's not so good. There's something we could do with India. Let's invest there. So who is in our block? We have so many countries here in the stock exchange. That's actually something I forgot about. So we have India ourselves, of course, Indonesia, South Korea, China, Egypt, Algeria, Russia, Italy, and Saudi Arabia. Good grief. And it's generating us a nice bit of money. That's why we're sitting pretty like that. What's the other task? Expand your block. That's something I think we should probably do. I just want to see, do we have any debt? No, we don't have any debt. Alright. Continue. So if we did build a block now, who would we invite? Because so many of the countries in the region already have their own blocks. Baghdad, Iraq itself, of course that was split in half there a long time ago. Oh, there's an Olympics I forgot about. Let's invest in that. Maybe we'll get a bonus from that. I remember a long time ago we also had these Caucasus countries in a block. Azerbaijan, Armenia and so on. Maybe we should try them again. Let's have a look. Relations are high enough. Units are high enough. Action points we do have enough right now. It will cost 7 again to maintain, but it will give us the chance to invest and then possibly get action points out. So let's try it. Yay, we have a friend. Now that says have 2 members in it. Oh, it's ourselves and Azerbaijan. That's 2 members because we didn't have any friends before that now. Okay, we'll get these messages as well because we backed the rebels in the US. It doesn't concern us really. Hey, we won the Olympics. How's that for a comeback, comrades? The nation who makes the best offer will host the next Olympic Games. So 2071. We could actually work out when the Olympic Games would be because of its 4-year interval. So it wouldn't be in 71, I think, but very soon thereafter. So that gives us more tax income, more GDP growth. It's always a good thing, even though we have so much money. Less unhappiness, better relations with the world, better score, better human development, all of that. All the good things in life. That's great. Now, unfortunately, because I'm still running the separatism test beta version of the game, we cannot permanently calm down these separatist movements in the various countries, so we'll have to keep paying for that. But we have so much money, as long as they don't charge us in action points, we can consider it like a tax, comrades. Of course, in the later versions of the game, you can pay one large lump sum and permanently incorporate the separatists into your realm, but here it's not possible yet. Bloc of Vietnam is destroyed for some reason. Seems Laos, what's happening here? Vietnam, not sure. This is one of those things where it's going to take a little while to get used to everything again. I just see the stock exchange notifications. That's always worth investing action points in. Just go through the motions. I wish there was an option to do all at once. Okay, let's see. What's the new task? Reduce your war exhaustion to 0. I think that's a worthwhile goal. Now, where can we see this? War exhaustion. Of course, war exhaustion is something different than the war losses. I would assume anyway. Maybe it's the same. No, it can't be the same thing. That's damage. Warmonger is coming down. Oh, actually it's gone up now again because we failed the US thing again, so I really shouldn't be doing stuff like that anymore. We are also a democracy still at the moment, but I don't think that will last. But now where can we see the war exhaustion? I forgot about this. War losses and war losses decrease, but surely that's not the same. But anyway, it will go down over time as long as we're not at war again. Maybe it is somehow tied to the war loss score as well. Let's just hope we're not caught out in Lebanon, because we'll probably get even more warmonger score if we are caught there. So yes, so caught, our spies were caught, and our reputation, now it's 55, so now we're a target again. Good grief, why can I not stay out of trouble? That was the old me, this is the new me, I'm not gonna keep doing that stuff. But now we have to pick something else here. What about the diplomatic offensive? I think that will reduce the warmonger. It seems as if it would increase it, warmonger over time +1, but I think it speeds up the decrease there. This could be worthwhile. It costs a heck of a lot in maintenance, but we can afford it. I think we'll do this. Just so we reduce this score again. I don't want to be attacked again by Canada and Brazil and everyone else and their uncle. What's happening in Poland? We're looking for new patents and technology. We'd get money, but we'd lose human development. No thanks. We have so much money. We have no need for that. And Mozambique, what do they want? Money, resources. No, again, we don't need money. That's the one thing we don't want right now. We need action points or some other benefits. Diplomatic offensive. Alright, do something new. So our action point generation is now greatly slowed down, but this will also be temporary, but very necessary, I think. Actually, before we go further, I want to see what's our unemployment. It should be 0. Oh yes, it's 0 completely, so no unemployment in Turkey. That's one good thing. What can we get for action points? Maybe this is where we have to look at these things, but we already have that. As long as it doesn't cost a lot of action points right now, we can certainly afford it. But the problem is everything that's still available costs a lot of action points. There is something we need. Specialized agents network. Expand our network in enemies' capitals to occasionally have a chance to take special actions against them, and that unlocks international espionage events. I think it's worthwhile because our spies are frankly quite crap, so we have to invest further in them. Somebody else is unhappy in Latakia, so we'll pay a few coins there for the rebels to calm them down. Can we get another friend, possibly? Armenia or Georgia? Satisfaction. After our proclamation of a diplomatic offensive, plenty of people are coming to us with requests for monetary compensation for their war losses. Are we going to acknowledge these claims? Well, this is a possible opportunity, if only it were just monetary compensation, but it also seems to be action points. So actually this would seem that the action point cost is once off -50, which we can afford. Then for a year it's -20 money, which is perfectly fine, but we lose 20 warmonger. Let's do that. I think that's definitely worthwhile. And there's some more rebels, this time in Varna. Let's pay a few coins there. Anything else happening in the world? Let's see. Republic of China has still somehow survived. It seems to be in the block of Thailand for some reason. Maybe Thailand has become a bit of a power there. Australia is still there. New Zealand is still there. Actually, we can probably turn this back on just to get a few more details on the map now. Stock market manipulation. There are vague accusations floating around in the financial sector about certain manipulation. Perhaps we should investigate. We should look into it. It'll cost us a lot of action points, more than we have, but we'll lose interventionism. Otherwise, we'll lose income from the stock market members. Again, we could afford that. But I see no reason why we shouldn't lose some interventionism. Sure, let's pay it. Let's see what's happening in the USA. We've just left the rebels on ambush there. I think it's just the best option. You see, the US actually can't make a breakthrough. It's still at 43%. Water conflict in Israel. That's probably going to happen in real life at some point. A water shortage conflict occurred. Those who are less fortunate demand some liquid gold from others, but now who is the others? We'll just say, okay, there is a conflict there, but I'm not sure with whom. Palestine still exists somehow, so maybe with them. Controversial politician's funeral. One of the most controversial figures of our political scene just passed away. He was a fierce adversary of the government, but also a patriot with a large group of loyal followers. Now they want us to prepare an official state funeral. Shove him in the box in the ground. No, we'll pay, sure. We'll have an official ceremony, why not? Greek islands want some money. We can consider this like development aid to rebuild the areas we conquered, perhaps. But Iran is the eternal thorn in our side right now. But of course the UN will do nothing against them, so we'll have to do it all on our own. Let's just have a look at them. 943 and us. Okay, we have stealth. 10, 5 and 4, so we are better technologically, but we lost the last time. I think it was just the pure war exhaustion. We are number 2, so this is the projection, the forecast for the next score assignment in 2 years' time. So right now we will be second still. So we have a little bit of catching up to do to beat Germany, but it's only 200 score. I think we can do that. What about diplomatic missions level 5? That gives us better relations with the world. That could work. I think so. We have to make amends, you know, based on all of our past experiences with being such an outcast in the world. Actually, let's invest. We need action points. Poor weather conditions. The weather lately has not been kind to us. Our energy system is not able to produce enough power for the entire country. The question is it still enough to maintain our economic level? I think it seems to be. We'd get a notification here if it were not enough, so I think it's alright. So yes, Iran, I think we could take you, but not right now. Not right now. What about Armenia? Remove from block. No, you're not in our block. Now you see we need a bit more action points. Let's wait a little while. Anything else? There's something. Terror. Oh, not this again. I don't want to fight anyone right now. We've got a serious problem with a devious, not just a terrorist, a devious terrorist group trying to cause disturbances in our country. If you're willing to get rid of them, we'd be very grateful. Attack incoming from the Central African Republic. We'd lose score though if we didn't take this. I'm sure we could attack some devious terrorists. Alright, do it. Just assign everything because we're not divided right now. Let's say secure the front. This is now somewhere in the Central African Republic. And now there's harsh weather. Bad weather is ruining our plans for the big offensive. We could try to push ahead anyway, but it would cost us dearly. What shall we do? More war losses? No. I think we'll take the unhappiness. I don't want more war losses. We've got too much already. I just can't stay out of a fight. Frontal advance. Now what is this? Next UN members. We are now way up in the world there. Okay, forget about the US. I think we jumped 1, 2, 3 spots there. So our GDP is doing very well. That's at least a good thing. And what looks good here? I think we should probably try to get rid of their aircraft there. But let's try the supply lines first. Terrorism in the Central African Republic. Well, we're a good country, so we'll try to help there. At least we're trying to be good right now. After we got so severely punished for being bad. Now, what's this here? Let's have a look. Would you like to open a new consulate in our country in Mongolia? This would help our mutual communication. Yes, I think so. Although, again, it costs even more action points. No, maybe some other time. There's a high warmonger level in France. I wonder what they just did. Been misbehaving, I guess. So everyone has a high warmonger level now. You can see it here by all the targets. So why would they always focus on us? That's one thing I don't like. Although I'm not going to try and push our luck right now. For the first time in our democratic history, a presidential candidate has emerged from amongst the minorities. Now who would that be? Would that now be possibly a Kurdish candidate? Propose him as a candidate. Yes, I think so. Why not? Bit of extra score there. Slight bit of unhappiness, but Oh, forget about the US. Okay, terrorists. Let's try some aircraft destruction. Breakthrough. We could even try the breakthrough. Let's do that. It's very high, so it seems very tempting there. Palestine joined the bloc of Thailand. You see, Thailand is a rising power for some reason. Everyone wants to be a friend with them. Bloc of France destroyed. And now what's this? Stock exchange. Oh, Taiwan is starting a new stock exchange. That's fine. Breakthrough. Now what? It's all equal, so let's not do that. Yes, airstrike possibly. Clear the skies is only equal, but let's try it. 10, 12 and 12, and they have 18 and 10, so our aircraft are much better. I just wish that US war would end now, because I keep getting the notifications from that. And there's never any progress. It's probably still 43. Yes, we could support them even again. Let's do it. Oh, we couldn't form any more rebel units. Alright. We're still secretly up to no good there. Clear the skies. They gave up their operation, so we win by default. Now, should we keep trying that? Let's try an airstrike. It seems to have a high chance there. Unhappiness is dropping there. You know, I think even if we don't rebuild the Ottoman Empire, which is obviously not going to happen, we can expand a little bit more into Bulgaria, for example, and of course get back Turkish land in Anatolia. But as long as we end up at number 1, I think that's fine, because that's ultimately the goal anyway, so that is a way of redeeming ourselves there. And we just have about 200, little under 200 to go to catch up with the Germans, who have so much score for some reason, and I'm not sure why. They gave up, alright, so they have almost no more armor. Let's keep destroying the armor. Can I get rid of this anti-warmonger thing? Yes. Almost everyone is against it except the US. Well, that seems to be accurate. Airstrike again in the US. Nobody else is interested in revoking this proposal. Even France, which is a warmonger itself now, for some reason is not interested in revoking it. You can see its flag right there. Okay, we got that airstrike. It's so strange, but I guess now we have to try and bribe them behind the scenes, but that's too much trouble, really. Where's that vote? We'd need too many more countries to actually sway the vote there. Colony crisis. Oh yes, in space, I forgot about that. Countries with space colonies are keeping all the resources for themselves. Well, Saudi Arabia, if you wanted a colony, you had to invest to earn one. And you didn't do that, so tough luck for you. We share space with the US, India, Germany, Japan and Canada. Let's have a look at that again. Actually, we should invest in space. Do we have the moon? Yes, we have the moon. What can we do here? Just pause for a second. Something that gives us more action points, possibly, if such a thing exists. What about tourist infrastructure? More score is always a good thing. It costs a lot of money, but we have so much. It's not an issue, and it costs a little bit of action points. We'll do that. There we go. Let's invest in the moon. So we'll send tourists there. What else do we have? Okay, that's the US there. What planet is this? Mercury. That one is also Turkey, and that is Venus now. How you have tourism on Venus, I'm not sure. It must be in the clouds, because you certainly couldn't make it down to the surface and back again. Mining infrastructure, that's always also a mystery. I'm not sure how you get minerals off the surface because of the atmosphere and all of that. Advanced industries. More GDP, I don't think that's really an issue. Tourism is better. The score is a much more valuable prize right now. Nobody owns Ariel or Miranda. India owns Callisto. There we have Europa. That's the best prize of all, but no more action points. Alright, that's enough for now. Let's go and calm down some separatists in Latakia again. It gets tedious now because, again, this will keep coming up, but oh well, that's maybe a motivation not to conquer too much. Otherwise we have to spend all our time calming separatists. More destruction of their tanks. I think that's very important because that will weaken them greatly. Central Africa. More separatists. It cycles quite frequently. There we are back in Varna again. And again, there is no option to calm it down permanently. And yet I can't access this save in the new version of the game. So we're stuck there, unfortunately. One more time. I wish it would destroy a few more tanks in one go, because we have to keep doing the same thing over and over and over to destroy just a few tanks. Oman has joined the bloc of India. I haven't been keeping up with the news there, but we can have a look at that in a moment. Boom, there you go. Now you have no tanks, so capture the roads. Now anytime there is a need to use a unit of armor, they will suffer a penalty, as you can see there. So instantly we win that. Air supremacy, I think, is quite clear also. We are absolutely dominant. Again, they needed a tank for that. Oops, I didn't even check to see what our probability was there. Greek islands, we just keep paying. Just do that automatically. I wish we could, but oh well. Another one. Final offensive. That's that. Let's try getting another friend. I think that can still be a useful thing. Also, we should try investing again. Make an investment. Let's hope it succeeds there. You can also help them, although I'm not sure it's necessary. I want that investment, and I want action points for it. Paraguay is at war with Brazil. Well, that's not gonna go well for them, I think. Bolivia is in the bloc of Brazil. So is Argentina, so Paraguay is finished in one go. We won the fight against the key terrorist group, and we get some score. How close are we now to the Germans? About 100, so it's working. Palestine wants some IT solutions. If we do this, we lose more action points. It's fine, because we'll be in a 0 position again. So we steal a little bit there, because it costs 200, but we didn't have 200. So we only paid what we have, but we still got the benefit there. Economic help. We're having problems with our GDP growth. Our economy could use a little kick. Are you willing to help us? Well, what does it cost us? Again, action points. Although we could do this. Again, we have only 64 action points. It costs 100, so it'll only charge us 64, and it'll still give us the better relations. Fine, we'll help you. Keeping the Russians generally on our good side is a good thing, I think. Come on, pay off, pay off. Yes, a huge success, although we don't get that much action points. Score is also possible. No, I think it's better to take the action points. We'll always need that. Voting, of course, has failed in the UN. Is there anything we could propose? Oh, water conflict in the US. Well, I guess the rebels are fighting over water now. So what's happening now in the US? It's still 43. I don't think there's any point in supporting them again. They still wildly outnumber the main US forces, so they might as well just accept peace now and give the rebels independence, because they're never going to beat them. Those Midwesterners. Let's just have a look here. India's status. Oh yes, it's that time again. Not sure how you get much more score income out of that. Maybe we should improve our relations with those countries. It's 21 now. Let's just have a look here. So Turkey, of course, that's us. India seems to like us a lot. South Korea, China. European state. With a wave of pan-Europeanism that struck Europe, one country took it upon itself to unify Europe under one banner by any means necessary. And of course, it seems to be France this time, but Germany is participating there. So, interesting times. Napoleon 2.0. Let's just invest in... Oh, good grief. I keep right-clicking when I want to scroll, instead of just left-clicking. Right, so we have the specialized agents now. Let's see what else we could get. Fossil, no, we're not going to go that route. Collective state farms. There's some things that you just don't want to pick, so skipping them is always worthwhile. Show the prestige of your government. Plus 50 score, do that. Absolutely, that's one we want. What was the thing? Oh yes, I wanted to scroll to something. Now I've totally forgotten. Oh yes, it's just Italy. I want to see if we can improve our relations with them. And China as well. And South Korea as well, if we can afford it. Implement, just to see. Maybe it helps our score in the stock market a little bit. Come on, get me that score. Very soon the next prize will be assigned. I want to be a winner there. It seems they've gone up again 200. They just stay ahead of us. But together we're quite a bit ahead from the US, 900. So I don't think they will catch up there. They're too much occupied with their fight there, which is actually a good thing. But now, how are we going to beat the Germans? I think we might need to resort to some sabotage again. Although this costs a lot of action points. Thousands. Failure again. Success with China and success with South Korea. That helped a little. Let's have a look. It's back down to 19, but let's pay all of the action points here. I think this is the max size that the stock market can grow. I don't think it's possible to grow it beyond that point. It's only 16. It fluctuates the whole time. I wonder why. I really have to dig into this, the mechanics here, I guess. Oh well. 48% of the world's trades happen in the Turkish stock exchange. Taiwan is number 2. Where's the US? Nowhere to be seen. Oh well. Pay to calm them down. We don't see our warmonger anymore, but we still have tremendous war losses. So I think let's cancel that ad hoc thing there. The diplomatic offensive. I don't think the warmonger thing is necessary anymore. Deactivate, and that gives us back 102 action points per month, so that's worthwhile. Could I not get another friend, possibly? Let's try Armenia again. They used to be a friend. Central Asian Union. To infinity and beyond. Space technologies are reaching new heights. It's time to move even further into the stars, so of course we will pay that. As long as we can pay the action points. So what's the goal here? Yeah, just stop that. I want to see here. Okay, so it's Titan, Enceladus, and Miranda, and Ariel, and Triton. So it's basically the rest of the solar system real estate. Of course we will contribute. So I just have to keep reminding myself of that now. So right there, that one there. I have to keep my eye on that. Okay, Armenia seems to like us. See, I keep right-clicking and dragging. Will you join us? Yes! There we go. Now we have a bit of a block again. Can I invest in them? Voting. I'll accept the changes. Just want to see election change. Okay, just accept that. It's a democracy, so we have to invest in Armenia. Let's see if we can get some more action points there. But this is now Europia, so we'll see some interesting things coming out of that place. National Day is coming. Perhaps we should celebrate our great country by organizing a military parade. See, it keeps taxing your action points. Again, though, we'll get away with a bit of a bargain there because your action points can never go below 0. So I'll accept more militarism. And Mashriq wants something, but we're still sworn enemies. Ah, we miss out again. Still couldn't break through that barrier. Such a shame. That's our main task for the next 27 years, to beat the Germans. But to really sabotage them, we have to get a lot of action points. 3,000, 2,500, 8,000, 4,000, 10,000, no. Alright, let's see. Up, 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 don't forget that, please. The United States of Central America joined the bloc of the US. Bhutan, failure, Ukraine, Japan. Eritrea left the bloc of Thailand. Success, success, failure. Peace between Turkey and Bulgaria expired. Just go through this as quickly as possible. These messages do stack up very fast. Egypt status, infantry, war, Oman, aircraft, Bolivia. Okay, there we go. Back up to speed. Let's just clear that out again. It happens so frequently. Bulgaria, can we do something about you? Should we? My big fear is that Bulgaria joins a bloc of a big power and then that basically puts them out of our reach for the rest of the game. So I think let's recruit some more military if we can. Oh yes, we have a large capacity that we're not using. Now, in that case, the Navy will be irrelevant, so let's invest in some more troops. Again, this will cost action points, so we'll say about 15. And let's go for the max of tanks, because again, that is limited by the action points there. Then Bulgaria is going to be mine. No, no, this is the problem. I guess our investment was a failure in Armenia because no action points came from that. Come on, yeah, pay. Let's just wait for these troops to be recruited and then we will see what we can do with that. Ah, this is so irritating. Again, the US can't do anything and the rebels can't do anything, so for the rest of time they will be locked into this conflict. They're not suffering very real losses here. Maybe their armor is now a lot worse, but in troops and aircraft they're still looking good. Peace treaty between Paraguay, we know how that ended. Well, they're still independent for some reason. It's almost time to invest again. I love this game. I have to say, I really love this game. It's also available on an iPad, but my iPad is a little too old for that. So I think this would make an interesting game when you're traveling as well. Let's go back to the plain map view here. Come on, get those troops. Let's take Bulgaria. Let's do it. And then somehow, hopefully, one of these states will leave the bloc that they're in so that we can join up our lands in Albania and Kosovo with the rest of our territory. Okay. So this will destroy Bulgaria, so that's going to cause a lot of warmonger again. Hey, we have enough score from the stock market, so that just kind of happened automatically, but that's another 50 prestige there. Still, we can't catch those Germans. Whatever we do, they just do more. It's just one of those things. Alright, our troops are ready. Let's go to war, comrades. Let's just have a look at this. Is Italy also in our bloc? Hold up, just stop for a second. Really? Bloc of Turkey. I forgot totally about this. So we have Italy in our bloc. Good grief. Oh, so that's why it completed that mission. It wasn't just Azerbaijan and us. It was Italy as well. Huh. Well, it's a good friend to have, I think. Let's do this. Let's decrease our relations there, and it's a bit of a risky move because we're doing so well recovering from our previous thrashing that we received. But around the world, countries are starting to like us again. Some of them anyway. Right, so keeping that Italian relationship is going to be an important one, I think. And there's some trouble in Romania. They are fighting Hungary now, so I guess Hungary might be growing soon. So let's grab Bulgaria before they do. Do it! Assign everything and start the battle. And pause right here. I'll leave you right here, comrades, on a cliffhanger, so we're not sure what's going to happen, but it's pretty clear. I'm sure we'll win this battle. I just don't want our reputation to suffer too much from that. You can see now Hungary is getting some warmonger there, but they will soon be a large power here in Eastern Europe and Southeastern Europe in general. So we have to secure what we can, I guess, and then focus for the rest of the game purely on our score. But we're trying anyway, and it's just a matter of catching up with Germany. So, see you next time, comrades. I hope you're still enjoying, despite the immense span of time since the last episode. But hey, perseverance, it pays.